a certified transformational nutritional health coach. I am a military wife. My husband's in the Army. And we have a now almost 5-year-old. She'll be 5 next month. So up until this month, well, it's still January, so this month. So as of January 1st, I started working for myself. I became self-employed and I'm doing this full-time, so I do one-on-one nutritional health coaching. So before this, I was full-time working, full-time mom, full-time wife. I also was a bartender and a server. So I worked all day, either before the Water Authority, I was at the Government Center, and then I was at the Water Authority, and then I would bartend at night in Penfield. So pretty busy, but you know, I was also, I like to call myself a recovering yo-yo dieter. You know, like always chasing 10 more pounds. So I pretty much did it all. I did, you know, keto, paleo, shakes, you know, like whatever's going to be quick, just like a crash diet, and eat less, move more, because that's the message that we receive. So eat less, move more, eat less, eat less, eat less, move more. And what happens when we do that is our body kind of hates us. So I ended up in a really, really crummy situation. My hair was falling out like by the handful. I wasn't losing any weight. My acne on my face it was like burning off. Like I was sitting in the doctor's office sobbing, begging her to do something for me. And what it came down to is I really messed up my hormones because I didn't know how to eat. So I decided to go to school for this just to kind of fix my own problems. And then after that, I kind of made it my mission to help women break up with dieting, stop dieting, learn how to eat more, be okay with eating more, and do it all on a busy schedule. So that's my mission right now, is to help people, you know, kind of just break the cycle. So do either of you meal prep right now? Minimally. So what we've learned is, well, what I've learned is people don't, because they either shy away from it, because they start to, we really, really want to, but it takes up a lot of time. People want to spend a whole day, or it's kind of the message that it's going to be a whole day. Sunday is meal prep day, and we don't want to spend a full day in the kitchen, at least I don't. Or because it costs so much money, because you spend all day coming up with these recipes and searching for, you know, healthy recipes, and then you have all these new things you have to buy, and then chances are you're only going to use half of them. So we all want to save some time and money. So as a busy mom, like I said, this is the exact thing, what I'm going to show you, what I did. I have myself, my husband, my daughter, and I also have my brother that lives with me, and he is 6 years older than me, so he's a grown man. And I prep for all of us on Sunday, and I do it in under 2 hours, within an hour and a half. So I'm going to show you this guide that kind of I created. This is the system that I use. I use that every single week, and like I said, I ate something from my Sunday on the way here today. So we'll go through that. Oh, my computer's over here. So this is the same thing you have in front of you. The first thing I start with is our kitchen. We have to prepare our kitchen. If we have, you know, dull knives and, you know, crappy pans that everything's sticking to, it kind of makes for a really hard day. The idea is to really get in and get out, and you really want some high quality stuff for that. So for must-haves, I say sharp knives, sheet pans. These are the sheet pans that I use. I don't know if you've seen these before. They're air bake pans. They bake really well. You can cover them with parchment paper and take it right off. And a lot of stuff fits out here. So I like to have 2 to 3 of these so that you can cycle stuff in and out of the oven. Large metal mixing bowls I have right here. These are really good for like having all your vegetables in before and after they cook. I mix them up all together. And then measuring cups and spoons, everyone has those. And then spatulas and tongs. So I use these silicone ones. I really like these because they don't have like extra parts. Some of them have like the wooden handle and then the top that comes off. They're kind of gross to clean. And these are fairly cheap. I use these, I have hundreds of these, and I get them in my stocking every year. Parchment paper, because we want to get in and out, so it kind of like lessens the dishes that we're going to use. So I cover my sheet pans with parchment paper, and then you can either reuse it, like I'll pick up the paper and I'll dump like whatever, the broccoli into the bowl and then put more broccoli on top of it. So I really like parchment paper. Aluminum foil works, but I don't know, parchment paper is a little easier to use, so I use that. And it's non-stick. Aluminum foil kind of sticky. Digital food scale is really only if you're going to be tracking calories and macros. So if you are a one-on-one nutrition client with me, I recommend having a food scale because we kind of pay attention to where you're at. But for someone that's just going to be cooking for their family, it's not really a necessity. Investments are crock pots and Instant Pots. Do you guys have an Instant Pot? No? Get one. Put it on your list. They're awesome. Even if you don't, though, a crock pot works great. High quality pots and pans, so I use these Teflon pans. These were a Christmas present from my mom probably 6 years ago. They're non-stick and they're really heavy duty and they can go right into the oven at a high temperature.
Did you say it's Teflon?
Teflon, yeah.
Okay, so funny story. I burned a pan the other day, making rice.
Oops.
I know, I should have used my Instant Pot for the rice,
Yeah.
but I didn't. I forgot to turn the stove off and took my son out to the bus and then came back and the
Burned
rice
the
was
rice.
still cooking. Anyways, so I ruined a pan, so I had to throw it out. And my husband said, I could use a new set of pans, these are awful. He came home that day from work and he said, what kind of pans did you want? Didn't you say like ceramic or something? Or not, copper? He goes, I found some Teflon. And I go, ooh!
Those ones.
That's what Brittany used in the presentation.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think you could put that in the oven. And he was like, okay.
Yep, yeah, they're awesome. They're non-stick. They're really heavy duty and high quality. This one probably needs to be replaced. What happens is it goes in the sink and then people throw their forks and knives and it gets all scratched up. But they're really good. I have a whole set of them. They're really nice. And you can replace them like one piece at a time, obviously. Glass storage containers. So I have these here. I have these in 3 different sizes. I think we have 15 of these large ones because it's me, my husband, and my brother. And then there's a medium and a small, which are actually over there with the celery and cucumbers. But they have these locking lids. I like to use glass containers because plastic you never want to heat in the microwave, and we kind of want to eliminate plastic exposure. Plastic exposure kind of acts as a xenoestrogen in our body, so it mimics estrogen and kind of causes a lot of hormonal imbalance issues. So the more we can get away from plastic, the better. Especially if you're going to be warming it up in the microwave, you want to have glass. But of course, one step is a small step, so if you have plastic containers, eventually you'll upgrade, but it's not a necessity. And then a high quality blender, same thing, making like sauces, dressings, stuff like that. It's really nice to have a high quality blender, so I recommend Vitamix or Ninja. I have a Vitamix. I've never used a Ninja, but I've heard really good things about it. So those are kind of what we're going to do to get our kitchen ready. So do you guys have questions about that one? Okay, so the first most daunting part of this is making a grocery list. Because what we're going to do is look up all these recipes, and then we're going to come up with all this stuff, and then it takes a long time, and then nobody even wants to go grocery shopping or cook. So the first thing I say is by doing that, we're overcomplicating it. We need to stop using the fancy recipes. They're fun once in a while, but there's a much simpler way to do it just to get the food in our body. And have it cooked and ready. The idea is just to grab and go. In the morning you don't want to think about it. At night you don't want to think about it. You just want to open the fridge and have it ready to go. So to make a grocery list, you will see on the back of those booklets, I have these food lists. I think it starts with protein. Yep. So this is where it starts, but what I like to do is pick three from each category, because what we want to do is eat a balanced meal. Part of my coaching is to help people eat balanced meals more often. We live by like the 80-20 or 90-10 rule. So we don't eliminate food groups. We don't get rid of fat, we don't get rid of carbs. We kind of just eat balanced meals. So I like to pick 3 from each category. So 3 protein, 3 carbs, 3 fat, 3 veggies, and 3 fruit. And that's how you're going to make your grocery list. So you're going to take your food list, pick 3, put them on your list. So right down here I have, and then there's a pantry staple, sorry, there's that one. That one's kind of like sauces, seasonings, dressings, stuff like that. So you kind of like, what else, like apple butter, almond butter, peanut butter, just kind of things that you want to have on hand for like snacks and stuff. So an example grocery list I put together here, there's 3 protein, I used chicken thighs, ground beef, and chicken sausage. And then carbs, I used oatmeal, jasmine rice, and potatoes. Let's see here, fat, avocados, extra virgin olive oil, and Primal Kitchen dressing. So there's some Primal Kitchen dressing on the table over there. It's an avocado oil-based dressing. And we like to stick with the avocado oil-based. The other ones, like, the generic ones that you'll find in the salad aisle, they are all made with like canola or vegetable oil, and those are going to cause a lot of inflammation in your body. So 2 brands that I like for salad dressing are the Primal Kitchen and Tess Maize. So those are both over there. Tess Maize makes really good ranch. Primal Kitchen makes a whole array of stuff, dressings, mayo. I use mayo like for, like tuna fish or whatever. It tastes just like regular mayo. And it's avocado oil based. It's really good stuff. So I use dressing, and then for veggies we did broccoli, bell peppers, and green beans. Fruit is blueberries, raspberries, and apples. And then for kitchen staples, I did dressings, barbecue sauces, seasonings, almond butter, squeeze pouches, and then gluten-free cereal and frozen waffles. When I say squeeze pouches, I get these from Costco. You can get them anywhere. Wegmans has them, I think. But they are just fruit and vegetable pouches. They're not just for kids. They're really, really tasty. They're like applesauce. And it's a good way to just get in some good, quality vegetables. Most of them are organic even, so if you're on the go, they're nice to have. I'll probably eat one of these on my way home.
I'm picturing Lisa eating one of
This is so good. They think I'm crazy. And then as far as like dressings, barbecue sauce, and seasonings, I like to have those on hand because these meals, you're only picking 3 from each, so you're going to mix and match them, but in order to not feel like we're eating the same thing every day, we use a whole bunch of seasonings and sauces to kind of mix it up. And I'll use salad dressing to put right on top of my meals just to make it different. So those are things you like to have on hand. And then as far as like cereal and waffles, I like to eat those for snacks. The waffles, I will do like a gluten-free waffle, and it doesn't have to be gluten-free, it's just my preference. I do a waffle and then mashed fresh berries instead of like jelly, and then you can drizzle like olive oil or almond butter on it, and then like sprinkle of chocolate chips. It's like dessert, it's delicious. Alright, so there's your grocery list. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is have a plan, because we picked up all this food and now we're going to get home and like what the heck are we going to do with all of this stuff? And we want to get it done really quick, that's the idea, because we don't want to spend all day in the kitchen. So as far as having a plan, you want to do whatever's going to take the longest first. So if you're going to be marinating something, chicken breast, you definitely want to marinate because they're not, that tasty. So if you are going to marinate something, I like to get that in as soon as you get home, get it going. That's going to take the longest. Otherwise, if you're going to cook something in your crock pot, I like to do chicken thighs in my Instant Pot. You could also do it in your crock pot. Stick those in and get those going, so it's going to take a little while. And then after that, whatever you're sticking in the oven, you want to preheat your oven and get that going, and then whatever's going to take the longest. So like potatoes are going to take longer to roast than broccoli. So you kind of want to get those chopped up, mixed up, put them on your pan, stick them in the oven. While those are roasting, then you can move on to the other things. So you always want to have something going is kind of the idea. So that kind of reviews how to have a plan. Yeah, so you're going to be really just like kind of rotating things out. So you stick your potatoes in. While your potatoes in, you're going to chop up your broccoli. Put your broccoli on your sheet pan. When your potatoes come out, they go in. Your chicken thighs are still cooking, and then on top of your stove, if you're going to have green beans, you're going to blanch your green beans. So you want to get your water boiling while everything else is in your oven. And then bell peppers I like to do and keep them raw, because when you warm them up, they get a little bit soft in the microwave. So it's up to you if you want to cook them or not. I like to keep them raw just to kind of mix up how things are cooked, different textures and stuff like that. If you roast everything, it all kind of tastes the same. And then what else are we gonna do? Oh, like ground beef, stick it on top of the stove. You have stuff in the oven, on the stove, and in your crock pot, all kind of going at the same time. So that's kind of how you're gonna have a plan. Once everything's done, then we're gonna mix and match it into containers. So it's really just about getting stuff done while you're, being efficient with your time, right? And if you're not new to a kitchen, you know how to do that anyways. So the next one, I have a plan, we just went over all of that stuff. Okay, prep day example, so using the grocery list that I created in there, the chicken sausage, chicken thighs, or whatever I had on there, I kind of went through step by step and said what you would do when you came home. I also made a video of myself doing this from 2 weeks ago. So I'll play that for you guys. I think last week that was their favorite part. Everyone in the survey said they liked to see the video so they could see kind of how it got done. So I'll pull that up so you can see. It's kind of funny. So it's a hyperlapse of what I did. So it took me 1 hour and 45 minutes to do this. And I shrunk it down to 6 minutes. So it moves really super fast.
We can only do that.
Yeah, and it kind of, you'll be able to see, it kind of goes through the steps in that prep day example, and I have it up here, and I will talk through it a little bit and let you know what's going on. So if I could really move this fast, it would get done a lot faster, so I line my sheet pans, chicken thighs are going in the Instant Pot, that's the very first thing I do. I do dishes in the, kind of while I'm working, because my kitchen is pretty small, as you can see. Turn the Instant Pot on. Chicken thighs I cook for about 15 minutes. And the back there of that book, that's kind of a recipe of how I do it. It's just salt, pepper, olive oil, and balsamic vinegar. And then I cook them for about 15 minutes.
I like your helpers.
Gosh, I know. They're like in and out the whole time. My dog loves vegetables, so if he hears my knife on the cutting board, he's in there. He's 13 years old and barely moves, but he will make it into the kitchen for some vegetables. So I cut up I use sweet potatoes in this one. I kind of chopped them up, mixed them up in some olive oil and salt, put them on the sheet pan, stuck them in the oven. I didn't seal my Instant Pot, so I'm doing that right now. So as those are in, I'm chopping the broccoli. Then I'm going to toss it in oil and seasoning. Same thing, they're going to go on a sheet pan, and then that's going to wait until the potatoes are done. Right before I did that, I started a pot of water. So green beans I will blanch. I put them in some boiling water for 4 to 5 minutes, and then I run them under cold water to stop the cooking, so they don't get mushy. So you'll see that chopping potatoes and vegetables is going to be the longest part. So if you can reduce any time, do that. I buy this big thing of chopped broccoli, so you kind of just have to cut up the big ones. I added asparagus. My husband loves asparagus, so that's the one extra step I added to this one. For asparagus, I'll chop it up in bite-sized pieces, put it in a saute pan, cover it with salted water, and then turn it on high until it starts to boil. As soon as it starts to boil, run it under cold water. So it's kind of the same idea as blanching. So chicken thighs are done. I kind of use a slotted spoon. I put them right into my KitchenAid mixer, and then give it a whirl, and it shreds it right up. Put barbecue sauce on it, and then it's kind of pulled chicken for the week. So then I drain the juices, and I put the rice into the Instant Pot, and then that is kind of, the rice is cooking while everything else is going. The green beans came out, so I'm running those under cold water. Chicken thighs, they're getting their barbecue sauce. Okay, chicken thighs are done. Potatoes come out. Asparagus gets drained. Runs under cold water. Okay, so the ground beef, I'm putting on the stove. Ground beef, I like to do salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder. Drain the juices, and then drizzle on some coconut aminos. Coconut aminos you'll find in the either like the organic section or the Asian section. So it's kind of like a gluten-free soy sauce, and it makes it really tasty if you drizzle it on right at the end. So ground beef is cooking while everything else is in the oven. Washing dishes again. My helper changed her clothes.
I see that.
Okay, so potatoes are coming out. I'm putting more broccoli in. Just finishing the ground beef on the stove. Okay, and then I have the chicken sausages. So I actually brought in the ones that I use over here. I'll show you those. And those I just stuck in the oven because this is the day that we kind of had that snowstorm, so I didn't want to go outside to grill. So chicken sausages went in the oven when the broccoli was all done, and now I'm going to chop the bell peppers. I stick all my vegetables in together, and then I mix them up, just because it's easier for me with you know, making meals for 3 grown adults, I don't wanna split up vegetables. I don't care what you like, just, this is what you're getting. So as I'm chopping, everything's going into a large bowl. I'm gonna mix it up. And then oatmeal was our last carb. So I like to make overnight oats. So you can eat them cold, kind of just grab them, stick them in your car, and eat them whenever. So this, I got these out while everything else was in the oven. I did a 1/2 cup oats, a 1/2 cup almond butter, a tablespoon of maple syrup. Put the lids on, they go in the fridge. And then before I leave the house, I'll throw some berries on top of those. So now I have my glass containers, all my veggies are out of the oven. And then I'm just gonna split up all the food into the containers. So you kind of wanna mix and match. You can put, sweet potatoes and a whole bunch of them, rice and a whole bunch of them, and then your vegetables, and then mix up your meats with the sweet potatoes and rice. If you wanted to have a different carb with it, it's kind of just about, you don't wanna eat the same thing every day, we get that. And then, so one of the biggest questions I get is, what about breakfast? What am I gonna eat for breakfast? So what I told them last week is, we're all grown adults. No one's telling you that you have to have eggs or cereal or pancakes for breakfast. I eat one of these for breakfast. So I'll eat chicken, vegetables, and rice. Or this morning I had ground beef, vegetables, and rice on my way here. So it's up to you. I do like to say, if you're not into that, if you don't want to do that, that's fine. Some good ideas is just to make sure that you have a protein, a fat, and a carb in the morning. Fruit and vegetables is really great if you can mix it in. So a lot of people will do like an egg bake, an egg casserole. That's what I'll do for my husband. So we'll do like a dozen eggs, mix them up, add some vegetables. So I'll take some of the roasted broccoli and throw it in there. Add some sausage, whether it's fresh ground sausage or it's some frozen sausage links, whatever I can do that week, or bacon or whatever, and just kind of mix it all up together. Add some cheese maybe and bake it. Chop it up, and then I'll put it in a container with like some roasted potatoes. So if that's something you want to do, if you don't like the idea of eating like a lunch style meal for breakfast, it's up to you. But like I said, we're grown adults and you can make your own decisions. No one's forcing you to eat pancakes for breakfast. So that was kind of the step-by-step of the grocery list. Do you guys have any questions on that? And the prep day example? No? Okay. So this is kind of just mixing and matching how we would mix it up. For breakfast, we did chicken sausage, green beans, and then dressing, and then I did the overnight oats with the blueberries and maple syrup on the side. And then lunch would be ground beef, jasmine rice, bell peppers, extra virgin olive oil, and then an apple and almond butter for your snack. And then dinner, we did chicken thighs, barbecue sauce, potatoes, broccoli, and some avocado. And then for snacks, this is one of my favorites, the gluten-free cereal with fresh raspberries and almond milk. I eat that before bed. It's probably not the best idea to eat before bed, but I like it. And then the squeeze pouches we talked about are good snacks. And then if you want to switch it up, you could do your chicken, what you had for dinner. So your chicken thighs, your barbecue sauce, your pulled chicken, rice and green beans. You can have that for breakfast if you're not opposed to that. And then lunch, you switch to your chicken sausage, your bell peppers, and then your oatmeal with berries. And then dinner is your ground beef, broccoli, and potatoes.